You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast
delivering player experience news.
Let's go! Is this one of the biggest video game leaks? And welcome to Podcast PXN episode 100, not 56, but 157. I am one of your hosts, the perennial dating app swiper from Portland, Oregon, Christian Macias, and I'm joined over Discord by Kentucky's #1 Spartan and PXN founder, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM.
I just heard some frightening thunder outside right as you were saying that.
Oh, yeah, don't get in a plane. Gage is not here, but rounding out the trio today is the president of the Tifa Lockhart fan club. He is the Nintendo aficionado and artist extraordinaire at Roro.
Hello,
Hi.
hello.
Hi, bestie.
Yep. Hi, bestie. we have a storm rolling in here too. It looks like.
Oh,
So if power just goes out, I'm sorry.
it's just
there
Christian's show at that point.
Could you imagine? No, you're the one running it on your end,
Oh,
so it would just,
good
yeah,
point.
just go down.
yeah. Anyway, shout out Gage. Hope you're doing well at work. But otherwise, thank you to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Just search Podcast PXN. We're also on twitch.tv/podcastpxn, not Twitter anymore. Sorry about that. Anyway, the topic of the show this week is Grand Theft Auto 6 actually leaked. But first, the show always starts with the PXN news of the week, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Got some quick bites for us. Kojima, late last week, teased something. There's a picture that he posted on Kojima Productions website with a silhouette of a woman that says, "Who am I?"
Uh,
Let's all answer this together. Who is this?
I don't know. I saw some theories as to who the actor is because her face literally fits into this silhouette.
Elle Fanning?
Yeah, I don't. Yes, that's the name that I've been hearing. But yeah, that's all I know about it. Besides that, I am completely in the dark on this one. I have no idea what he's teasing.
No idea.
It's either Margaret Qualley or Elle Fanning. There's a 50-50 chance it's either the Xbox horror thing or just some other Death Stranding nonsense.
Could be anything.
Either way, I'm all for it. Could be anything.
Yeah.
Could be nothing.
That's also true.
It also could be just a random teaser for a guest on his podcast, for all we know. But
Huh?
anyway.
Can you imagine if like Elle Fanning is just like, yeah, it just shows up next episode? It's like, oh,
Or like it could have been Margaret Qualley. Anyway,
yeah, either one, yeah.
I threw this in for Gage. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection is coming to PC October 9th. Pretty weird, I think, considering that the other Uncharted games aren't available. So you'll get Uncharted 4 Among Thieves. No, wait, that's 2. 4 is the Thief's End, and you also get the Lost Legacy. But you can't play 1 through 3 on PC, sadly.
Well, you can complete the saga. You just can't. I'm sorry.
You can't start yet. You can't start it, but you can look at the endings.
Yeah.
Included on PC features for the Legacy of Thieves collection includes ultra widescreen, 4K resolution, variable frame rate, and DualSense support. I didn't know that DualSense support was available on PC for any games. So that was pretty cool to find out. Cool stuff. Moving on, small news, but also kind of the biggest. Silksong is coming to PlayStation, both PS5 and PS4. No news regarding anything else about Silksong, but it's coming to other consoles and not just Switch. So,
And
I'm
Xbox.
excited. Oh, is it as well?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, there you go. Silksong, multi-platform, confirmed, live on PXN. And speaking of PlayStation, Orlando Bloom joins the Gran Turismo movie alongside David Harbour. This is, again, the movie based on the real-life events where a Gran Turismo player went on to race cars. This is directed by Neil Blomkamp. So some star power behind the Gran Turismo movie. Okay, no thoughts on Orlando Bloom or David Harbour. Got it.
Family.
Okay.
Family. That's what we're going to focus on.
That has nothing to do with Fast and the Furious.
I'm just
but-
kidding.
It's Cars.
Cars.
Cars?
yeah.
Okay. You got me there. You got me there. This one is probably just for me and Ro, since Daniel ain't about it. Yoshi P confirmed the next Final Fantasy 16 trailer will likely be out next month. When that will be, I don't know, but it's very exciting.
Heck yeah. Do we get? We don't have a release date yet. Just a window, right?
It's somewhere, isn't it like summer 2023?
Summer 2022. Okay. Yeah, maybe we're not going to get a release date just yet, actually. But yeah, I'm excited. Excited to see more. I like the last trailer that we got. It looks cool, so I'm down for more.
It's a cool one. Confirmed, by the way. Yes, the release window so far is summer 2023.
Cool.
Moving on, the world's first trombone rhythm game. I don't know if it's out already or if it's coming out, but it looks insane. I watched like 3 videos on this, and it's hilarious because yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying it's all over my timeline. This rhythm game now. Yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but it's so funny, dude, because you have to, there's a slider up and down, and you have to match the notes. And if you're like just even slightly off, you're obviously off key, which makes the performances like super funny.
People are saying it's their game of the year.
Are you using like an actual trombone to play this, or like what
I
is?
think it's your mouse or controller.
Oh,
I don't know if it's on if it's on consoles, but definitely a mouse for sure.
Trombone Champ is the name of the game.
There we go.
Yeah, but I can't. Okay, here we go. Trombone Champ works like other music rhythm games. Notes move across the screen from right to left, and you move the mouse up and down to meet them, and then click or press a keyboard key to play the note. So there you go. And that's very much a PC game. Use your mouse. Jesus. Moving on. Some big Twitch news broke today. Twitch confirms it's changing its revenue split from 70-30. This is starting in June 2023. They will not offer any new users the 70-30 split anymore. Streamers that have an active 70-30 split will then get a 50-50 split after earning $100,000. Moving down, Twitch also cites video hosting costs as a reason to move away from 70-30, which is really weird. Apparently the publish rates from AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, to host live video is super expensive, but Twitch is owned by Amazon, so it's not like they're paying themselves. They probably, and if they are, they probably don't pay the market rate for this. I don't know if like they're really boasting transparency, and this just seemed like it was like not really well thought out, in my opinion.
I saw the meme with someone holding the gun to the back of their head, and it is Amazon holding a gun to Twitch. It's like yourself, yeah.
Yeah, Twitch continuing to not present itself very well to its partners, and like the competition is slowly growing outside. I think YouTube gaming is probably the number one competitor outside Twitch. Twitch is still probably the mainstream, but interesting to see how this will affect it moving forward.
And this announcement was on the heels of the gambling stuff. I think they announced that gambling or certain gambling streams are not going to be supported on Twitch because of, I guess, the look and the how that category can be perceived. And there was a whole scandal with another streamer earlier this week too, with how his gambling kind of ruined his life and other people's life because he scammed a bunch of people. But this seems like, depending on who you are, good news with the gambling stuff, and then they kind of followed it up with here's the bad news, and they bye sort of thing. So yeah,
well, I mean, they start off their like post about like, oh, we announced that we're like something about ad revenue, or they were moving to 50-50 because we're in this together, and it's like, well, come on, dude. Like other platforms don't do the same thing.
Yeah.
Also, it's worth noting that they dropped this announcement like in the middle of the night around like
exactly
2 a.m., 3 a.m. Pacific. So it's like they knew it was not good press. Yeah. Moving on, our next little bit of quick bites. This is the NVIDIA GeForce Beyond kind of quickfire wrap up. Everything you missed from today's showcase conference. Whatever. DLSS 3.0 is capable of generating additional frames, boosting game performance by up to 4 times. I thought that was really awesome. There's some examples of games running at like 20, 30-ish FPS like Cyberpunk, and then with DLSS turned on, it's like upwards of 70, which is pretty cool. Additionally, Portal RTX was announced, which this is a Portal remaster using ray tracing. It's coming this November and is free for all owners, and images from this game look pretty sweet, in my opinion.
Yes. Very cool.
There was also RTX Remix. This is a tool that allows people to build RTX mods for games. I didn't see much on this, but like the difference between like without it and with it, like the mods that are in it, like putting stuff in there, a lot higher detail. Thought that was nice. And then what you came for, the 4090 was officially unveiled. It is selling at an MSRP of $1,500.99. That sounded. Let me rephrase. $1,599. 24 gigabytes of G6X. It is 2 to 4 times faster than the 3090 Ti, and it is available starting October 12th, so just a few weeks away.
Things a chunker.
Yeah, it's literally like a brick, right?
Yeah,
it's huge. The 4080 was also revealed, and this is selling for $1,199. It is 2 to 4 times faster than the 1080 Ti, and has 12 gigabytes of G6X, which I actually don't know what G6X is. I was hoping Gage would.
Well, so for some clarification as well, there's 2 different versions of the 4080 as well. There's a 12 gig version.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, there's a 12 gig version and I think a 16 gig version. And the 16 gig version is the one that costs more, and it's a lot faster. I think it's the 12 gig version that's $799, or I believe around there. But yeah, and also the DLSS 3.0 is only on these new cards as well. So you have to have a new card. Yeah. But a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Yeah. Also mistyped / miswrote as well. It is not 2 to 4 times faster than the 1080. It is 2 to 4 times faster than the 3080 Ti. Anyway, would love to be able to afford one of these one day, but I'm good with my computer right now. Closing out Quick Bites, we got some TGS extras from other random news events that happened in the last few days. Starting off, Resident Evil 4 is also coming to PS4, and a Resident Evil showcase has been announced for sometime next month.
Spooky.
Yeah. You will also be getting a closed beta test for Street Fighter 6, which starts October 6th. Again, 2 weeks away at this point? Almost the end of November, or September, I should say. Insane. Some news on Tekken 8. It's running on Unreal Engine 5, and they are also working closely with Epic for optimization. It is rebuilt from the ground up entirely, which means no Tekken 7 assets were used in Tekken 8. And the team wants to improve each and every single mode in the game. Very cool. Tekken 8 looking to be a sizable upgrade. Next, Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster were announced for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and Steam, and that is coming 2023. You Suikoden fans can eat up that remaster. And lastly, I got a whole thread here on Xbox's showcase at TGS. We'll go over everything as quickly as possible. Blaze Blue, Cross Tag Battle, and Guilty Gear Strive are coming to Xbox, both of them in spring 2023. Ni no Kuni Remastered was announced and is available today on Game Pass. The second game is coming in 2023. Danganronpa V3 is coming to Game Pass today, which, again, a few days ago. 5-6 days ago at this point. Got another look at Kiriko from Overwatch 2. A gameplay trailer. Got a dev diary for Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is coming to Xbox and PC Game Pass today. And then Deathloop, again, confirmed after long-time rumors and speculation that is coming to Xbox. That is actually coming to Game Pass. Xbox and Game Pass on September 20th, which yesterday you can play Deathloop. And that is everything from TGS 2022 from Xbox.
Just to for the first thing on this list for the RE4 stuff, how it's coming to PS4, like previous gen now, it isn't coming to Xbox One though.
I noticed. Yeah.
That kind of sucks.
It's not surprising though, because obviously Xbox One didn't sell the best, so it's probably an easy way for Capcom to say, hey, let's get this out to 100 million people on PS4.
True. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Still kind of surprising. Anyway.
Also, actually, I'm sorry, I just thought of this as well. You can technically play it on Xbox One, but you have to use cloud streaming because you can cloud stream the Series X version on your Xbox One. Little mind melder there.
Yeah. Cool. Very cool. No Street Meet today. I mean, there is technically, but it was big enough with another news item that I actually grouped it into news of the week. So, slightly meaty news of the week. Anyway, we got 2 pieces of PlayStation hardware news / weird decisions, because I know Dan and I were talking about this on Twitter. Firstly, PSVR games, the original, will not be compatible with PSVR 2. This came from some kind of video from the PlayStation blog. It was fairly long, but I caught this thanks to Nibel, and then just discourse happened on Twitter. Not surprising, considering that PSVR 2 does have completely different tracking than PSVR 1. But that isn't to say that I wasn't hoping that at some point Sony would be like, we're bringing a select few titles over. We worked with, the developers to bring a select few highlights from PSVR 1 over to PSVR 2. I mean, that could happen at some point. We don't know, but at this point, I think it's probably just on the developers. If they want to do it, they can. But other than that, like this sucks. Kind of a miss from Sony, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially the big hitters. Like there's some really cool PlayStation VR exclusives that, I was thinking if this price point was great, then I jump in on PSVR 2. I can pick up some backlogged PSVR original games and have stuff already ready to play right at launch. So yeah, that's very disappointing for me personally, and kind of kills my desire to even get it at launch. Like, because especially obviously at launch, there's not going to be a huge selection of games. Like, there's going to be probably a couple of games that are pretty cool. But yeah, I don't love this. And also, I feel like this is going to turn into an opportunity for Sony to go back and say, hey, we're re-releasing these games on PSVR 2. You got to pay us again for this if you already bought it, which it wouldn't affect people like me. I'd be totally cool with, obviously I'd pick them up because I've never bought them before. But for people who had already purchased them on PSVR 1, I don't know. I don't feel.
I would need significant changes if they were to do that.
Right.
And I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
Is kind of an ignorant question here because I don't have VR and I'm not super into it, but how is this like Half-Life Alyx is like available on different headsets, right? Like it's available on not just PSVR, it's like it's on others, like it's on the Quest too, right?
It's not on the Quest 2, but you can, with a link cable, use that to run Steam VR. So it's on PC headsets.
I guess my question is like, there are games that are available on different headsets that have different tracking that work differently. Why can't they just make the game work? I know it's not as simple as that, but there are games that are available on different VR headsets that work everywhere. Why can't PSVR 2 do that?
I think all the PC VR headsets and the mobile ones like the Quest all have inside-out tracking, which means you don't need any extra peripherals to use and kind of track where you are or your hands. It's just all in the headset. Whereas Dan?
Does Vive? I was thinking that Vive was different, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think Vive uses any kind of camera.
Oh, okay. I might be wrong. I honestly don't remember, but I was just thinking for some reason that was different.
I can look it up right now as well. But the PlayStation VR 1 does use a camera with the lights. Like it specifically is like, we need to see the lights from the Move controllers in order and the headset, those little lights around the edges to see where you are in the game. Whereas inside-out tracking, and granted I'm not a developer, Ro, just like it must not be easy. Just it's not a one-to-one port. Like you need to like go in and code how the game works entirely just to make sure everything functions from PSVR 1 to PSVR 2. I'd imagine.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Does suck, for sure.
Yeah, it does suck. I'm for real though. I am hoping that like a few developers go and be like, yeah, I think it's worth porting our old game to PSVR 2. We'll spend some time developing a PSVR 2 version. I mean, like Astrobot is a huge one. I think that's like a must play VR game on the PlayStation Economy. So they need to find a way to get that over.
Yep.
I guess in the grand scheme of things, how many must-play PSVR games are there besides Astrobot and like
Not many,
is there?
really.
Yeah, so maybe it's not
They're all
that bad.
multi-platform. They're all multi-platform.
Yeah.
Is that like? I obviously this is not a big experience, but like Batman Arkham VR, I feel like wasn't that a PlayStation exclusive?
It might have been, but I swear that's on other platforms by now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I was just thinking of that one, but there are some cooler like smaller stuff like that I was always like back then I was like, man, that would be really cool to check out, but I really don't want to spend all that money for it for just that. But
Got it.
Kirk is in the chat saying that kind of happy I never bought PSVR. I have the HTC Vive anyways, and it works all the time. Outside in tracking is always superior. Skyrim VR is excellent, he says.
That rocks. I think the Vive is one with the finger tracking too, which is very cool. One thing to note before I move on to is for a while, every now and then Sony would throw us a bone and be like, here is a VR title from PSVR included with PlayStation Plus. And like I thought it was cool to like build that library. And in my head I was like, yeah, when PSVR 2 comes out, I'll be able to play these games. Not the case. So if you're wanting to break out PSVR 1 again and set up all those cables, do it. Do it, I guess. Here's the Street Meat rumor / news item. This comes from Tom Henderson / Reset Era. Sony is set to launch a new PS5 with a detachable disc drive, sources suggest. Some details on this. This is launching in the middle, again, rumored, supposedly, launching in the middle of fiscal year 2023, which would put it around September, so a year from now. The new console will replace the A, B, and C chassis. It's a chassis? I'm pretty sure it's chassis.
I think so.
Which is the launch disc version, the launch digital version, and the current lighter SKU. So the D chassis, which is the new one, will have the detachable disc drive, and it will connect to the PS5 using an extra USB-C port on the back. So they'll include an extra port on the actual console. The console will be sold on its own or in a bundle with the detachable disc drive. Also worth noting that the new drive is portable. It will not ruin the aesthetics of the console, and they will attach to it without looking like it's an external piece. Dan, pop off since you're big time hating on Twitter.
No. After you read all of that, actually, it makes a lot more sense. I didn't realize they were selling it as a bundle and by itself. So it's essentially you're losing the option of a built-in disk drive.
Yes.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. But personally,
all you had to do was read the article you quote tweeted.
No, but no. My point still stands. Of I personally, if I wanted a disc-based console, I would prefer it to be in the console because my problem is I'm limited on space as it is. So like the more things that I have, scattered around my desk, the more, the less space I have for other things. And the PS5 isn't necessarily the type of console where you can stack it on top because of the angular, shape of the shell. So that's my only issue with it personally. But
We're talking about 3 inches on the side of it, Dan, that you can attach to it.
Wait, what?
You said you're limited on space. The disk drive isn't gonna. It's not. I mean, it'll be the same size as your current PS5.
True, but it's not like together. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it's fatter. Like the console is fatter, so therefore it's all together. Whereas that I would have to have it like next to it, or I get
no, it would be the same thing. It would. Did you not just hear me?
No. What? I'm sorry.
It attaches to it, so it would be like the normal PS5. It would look like your PS5.
So it actually like physically plugs into it? I'm so confused.
Let me reread what I just read. It will not ruin the aesthetics of the console. It will attach to it without looking external. So it presumably would look like exactly what your current PS5 looks like.
I apologize.
But you can slide that disc drive right out.
I apologize. I missed that part. Never mind. I apologize.
Which I think for me, as a digital owner, is a fucking massive dub because I've been looking at ways to watch my 4K films. And like, I don't have a 4K player. I regret buying the digital only PS5. What am I going to do? Buy a new console? I mean, I could, but they were starting to raise the price on it, which sucks. No, the answer is I just buy one of these things and plug it into the back of it. It'll look stupid for me since I don't have the attachable model, but like, that's the price I have to pay. I don't know. I think it's cool for like future owners to go this route if you have to. Also, like people were noting it on Twitter and in recent era, if your disk drive breaks at any point, you don't have to send the whole console back, just the drive.
Yeah, that's huge. I thought Dan was going to say something. Sorry, but if you have a digital console, which we do, and you're saying it's going to look the same. Okay, yeah. So it just attaches onto the side, I guess, of the system, or does it goes to the back? Is what I keep hearing or reading.
Presumably.
Okay.
It'll attach to the back via the cable, but it will look like presumably the current disc-based PS5.
Okay, gotcha.
And if you slide the disc drive out to remove it, it will look like the current digital model.
Gotcha. Okay, that's not
and
very
this is all
intrusive at all.
rumors.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is really cool, actually. Like, I like physical discs, and there's certain games that I would like to have the disc version of, just because it's cool to have the case.
Yeah.
And at least I have that excuse now to like, all right, I have a disc drive, so now I don't feel weird just buying the box for the box. I actually get use out of the disc too. So yeah, I think it's cool for people who ended up getting the digital version, whether it was easier to get or it was cheaper. And now you have a little bit extra money. Okay, now I can get the disc drive for it. Like, yeah, and for like you were saying, for movies and stuff too. I think it's cool.
Sadly, Dan, I will no longer be buying an Xbox. This, $50 to $100 disc drive just solved my problems.
Damn.
I apologize, Christian. I did not read like half of this article, and that's clear now. After
of course, my boy Daniel P loves to skim. One thing about Daniel P, he's a skimmer.
I only have so much time to look at all this stuff, but no, I think you're right. It brings up a good point of if your disk drive breaks, it's a great option to replace it. And something that I said years ago to Sean,
which I still would disagree with. Hold on, go ahead.
I argued with Sean about controllers, because we had the argument about the built-in battery of controllers, and I'm like, dude, these batteries are literally the most like degradable, or like they die quicker than any other piece of technology out there. So like batteries, I feel like, are more important to be able to swap out than a disk drive, for instance. But
turns out the answer is no. It's sticks.
Sticks,
as in stick drift, which happens
yes.
on a lot of new gen stuff.
That as well, which is why the new PlayStation controller, fantastic.
Well, the idea of it, we'll see when it actually comes out.
True.
And that is it for PlayStation News on hardware. Moving on, EA Motive actually confirmed it is working on an Iron Man game. This game will be single player, third person, action adventure. It is, quote, currently in pre-production phase and will have more updates as we get further along in development, unquote. Interestingly enough, they also announced that additional projects are in the works. This is an exciting new collaboration between Marvel and EA, with Iron Man being the first of several new games, EA says. First of all, does an EA Motive Iron Man game excite you? Ro?
Yes, it does. It shouldn't, because they do... What do they do? They did the Star Wars games, right? They're doing Dead Space.
And Star Wars, yeah.
They're doing Dead Space, so hopefully Dead Space... It looks good. Dead Space does look good, so hopefully it turns out to be as good as it looks. But like their track record so far has been Battlefront, right? And Battlefront 2 and Squadrons, I think.
Yes.
And those were those were games. I don't know how how critically acclaimed they were, especially the first Battlefront. But of course, this is probably going to be a completely different type of game. So the idea of an Iron Man game does excite me. It being from EA Motive, I'm a little trepidatious on, just because of the Star Wars games. But yeah, I'm excited for an for an Iron Man game. If EA can pull it off, I'm all for it. But yeah, right now I'm a little mixed right now. For the theories that we're having in chat, like what this could be, excites me, but I don't know if EA is going to be the one that could make those dreams come true.
I actually haven't heard Dan's take on this.
I'm interested in seeing what they can do. I think Squadrons did okay. Like I think it was like in the 70s or something like that. And Dead Space remake looks really cool thus far. Obviously, it's a remake, not a full-blown game, but I'm optimistic. And actually, Gage's comment about using like some of the Anthem tech makes a lot of sense for Iron Man. So if they can do that, that'd be interesting.
That would be cool.
I'm in the camp where I don't care about this. First of all, EA Motive Battlefront 1, cool game. Still holds up like vision.
They didn't make Battlefront 1. They that was DICE. Motive helped with Battlefront 2 with some of the multiplayer stuff. I think they were responsible for like the space battle sections of Battlefront 2.
Okay, so they do have like practice with flight mechanics.
Yeah,
so that's already a positive. And I did enjoy the space battles from Battlefront 2. So if that information is correct, then that's cool. My issue, and it's not even an issue. It's just I answer my second question. Are we being oversaturated with Marvel IP? For me, like I would personally rather see game developers work on new IP. And I don't know. I feel like I'm getting too much Marvel stuff. Like I have to bring in TV into the conversation a little bit because I feel like I'm being oversaturated with Marvel content on the TV front. That a lot of studios working on Marvel games, and it just might be too much all the time. Even if it's a good game, I just would rather not be on the forefront of my mind of excitement. And this is like just one of the new games. There's also a rumored second Black Panther game. I already have my reservations about Amy Hennig, which I think I've talked about already. So a second one is like less clear on like, will it be the same Black Panther, different stories, what's going on? I'm just a little bit like, okay, let's tap on the brakes a little bit. But like if the game is good, then no doubt I'll be excited then. But until then, just kind of a little pause, a little step back from me.
Yeah. It might feel that way just because we're getting so many announcements, but I feel like these games are going to be like spread out enough that we're not gonna feel it as much when these games actually come out. Like Spider-Man is like, I guess that's next year. That was a bad example, but Wolverine is like, who knows how far out that is.
Yeah.
This EA Motive game, they said it's like now they're now starting it, so that's a ways away too. So hopefully we have enough buffer between each one. But yeah, right now it feels like they're just announcing every single Marvel hero's getting a video game. Like, all right, slow down. But yeah.
I feel like part of that too is like studios are like, man, this is going to be way harder for us to keep this a secret because people love Marvel properties. So let's just go ahead and announce them now when they may still be, 3, 4, 5 years out. So
right.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ro.
If you could you answer me what other games you can expect out of an EA partnership? Or what would you want to see?
A Captain America.
Already have one of those.
No. Hang on. A Captain America like shooter, but not including Captain America in that era, but like in the universe, so that
you just want World War II.
Well, I think it would be cool to have like superheroes like sprinkled into that timeline. I don't know. I think it would be interesting.
I don't know what I want from an EA collaboration. Can it be for anything, or does it have to be Marvel?
I mean, sure, it's up to you. I mean, it's up to EA, but
Right, yeah.
While Rose thinking, let me just defend why I said that, Christian. They're very good.
Okay.
They're very good at shooters, so that's why I was
Sure.
thinking. What can
I
we
mean,
do with the
Respawn was a
shooter?
shooter studio as well, and they came out with Jedi Fallen Order.
True. That's true.
Yeah. I still want that Doctor Strange game. I don't know if EA is the one to do that. Like Remedy. Yeah, everybody says
Ooh.
Remedy would be perfect, but just because I can't think of any ideas, sure, EA, make a cool Doctor Strange game with some some good old microtransactions.
Okay. Well, I would prefer a single player game.
We're playing as all the different Stranges, like it's a live service game where just a bunch of Stranges in a shared world. I think that'd be great.
I hate you, bro.
Zombie Strange.
Yeah, I could be Zombie Strange. You could be what are the other Stranges? Sorcerer Supreme Strange, the evil one with the mustache. I don't remember.
The third eye.
With the ponytail.
Yes, that guy. Oh, the
Yeah.
salt and pepper hair. Yeah.
God, salt and pepper hair. Just okay. As a non sequitur, salt and pepper hair, just like on, attractive older gentlemen. Like that's such a look. I don't think I'll ever get there. I think I'm gonna bald before then. But enough about salt and pepper hair. Moving on, where to Ro tunes out. This is our. I thought about this, but I almost was gonna put this into like what you got for me. But there's enough here that I think it's worth discussion. So it's gonna be round one. We'll have more thoughts with Gage next week. But until then, this is round one of our Modern Warfare 2 beta impressions. Dan got his hands on this. I got my hands on it. I put about 15-ish to almost 20 hours into the beta. Before I give my thoughts, Dan, how much did you play, and did you like what you played?
I played with you, and that's all I played, which was like a few matches. I can't remember exactly how many we played, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. The sounds are so punchy in that game. Like I'm throwing grenades and like shooting, and I'm like, Jesus, my whole house is shaking from these punchy sounds that we're getting, which is really great, actually. I feel like Battlefield for a long time was like the gold standard for sound design, but now like Call of Duty's kind of taken that back. So that's really cool. Sorry, go ahead, Christian.
It's worth noting too on sound design that Modern Warfare 2019 got a lot of flat. 2019? I think that's right.
Yes.
2018?
Yep. 2019.
19.
Yeah.
Got a lot of flack, and I was there because of how loud the game was. Like, it was absurdly loud. The sound mixing was off. Modern Warfare 2 is a step in the right direction, where it's still loud. It's a loud game, but the mixing is better, bar a few tweaks that they're already working on. But until then, Dan, please go on.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of cool new additions. Like I know you have it in the doc here, but the helmet cams that you had mentioned on spectating is really cool. It's almost like gives like this really cool Spec Ops feel, like you're watching live footage of like a special ops team like doing this mission. It looks really cool.
For those that don't know, the new spectator mode is no longer first person. It's helmet cams that are attached to this side of the person you're spectating's head. So if they have like a helmet on, you can see like part of their helmet, just in the corner of the screen. It's a PNG image. It can look a little bit fuzzy, but nothing a few tweaks can't improve. And then so it's just like over the shoulder kind of helmet cam of following someone like running and shooting and stuff, and it looks freaking awesome in motion. Like there was a moment where it was on the map Farm 18, which is that map with like the maze kind of in the middle. And like this dude was in there with a shotgun, like checking his corners and stuff, and like going slower than usual because it was like 1v1 at this point. And it's just awesome. It's a different level of immersion that I didn't think would happen from spectating. My one complaint is switching people takes way too long.
Yeah. Yeah, we played the third person mode as well. I wasn't as big on the third person mode. I don't know if it's the jarring like transition from being in third person to first person when you're aiming or what it is, but it doesn't quite hit for me personally. But it is a cool like little mix up if you want to experience that.
It's different, and I think in Modern Warfare 2, when they had third-person team tactical, shooting stayed in third person. Like it was just a different way of like aiming and shooting. Whereas this is just it like transitions. You go through your body and you're into first person. It doesn't feel as good getting into firefights, switching in and out, in my opinion. So I'm right there with you, Dan.
Team tactical is the best mode. I love that. I love the small teams, gritty. I hate it. There's nothing I hated more. I had a friend that I played with in high school way back in the day that all he wanted to play was ground war. And I'm like, I hate this. This is too many people. It's too chaotic.
Time and place for it.
Yeah. But
I usually do ground war for like double XP weekends where it's like, I don't care about my KD. I'm just going in. I just need to level up stuff. So I'm with you.
True.
I'm going to go over some things. You can give me your opinion as we move forward. We got an update, of course, to the perk system in Call of Duty. It's no longer 3 perks that you pick. It's 4 of them. 2 of them are you get assigned, and then 2 you earn in the game. And so the big complaint here was that it takes too long to earn the 4th perk. Like you would finally get it, and then the game would end like 1 or 2 minutes later. Infinity Ward already has come out and said that the perks 3 and 4 will activate faster for weekend 2. So that has already been addressed. And I kind of like the perk system. People have been complaining online that they want Dead Silence as at least a 4th perk. And in my opinion, like in terms of balancing, and again, like this is a game that's like the focus is not competitive players; it's for casual players. It's a casual game. I think having Dead Silence remain as a field upgrade is the move, in my opinion. It makes the game a lot more balanced and fun.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think because there's a ton of other options, to make yourself stealthier with the perks, with Ghost and the other perk for like heartbeat
Cold-blooded?
sensors. Yeah, cold-blooded. Yeah. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. There's also changes again to the receiver system in Gunsmith 2.0. So I still don't fully understand this, but like there are weapon families. So like for instance, like one that you could do there's a workaround in the beta. You could get the Lockman. And then if you upgrade it, you unlock the receiver for like the submachine version of that gun. So you can put that receiver on, and then it turns into the MP5, and certain attachments that you have unlocked stay in that family. So you automatically have them with the MP5. Same thing with the M4 family. I don't know. I think this is a really cool way to go about it. It gets rid of that grind, and it makes just the gunsmith a bit more complex and adds an extra layer that I think is pretty fun for Modern Warfare, in my opinion.
Yeah, the gunsmith system is very intimidating when you first see it. You're just like, there's so many options here, but yeah, very grandiose.
It feels like there's way more attachments to like in Modern Warfare 2019. I think you still had the 10 slots for your weapon, but like there was only so many. Whereas I go in here now, and I don't know if it's even in the beta, I can see like a bunch of these are locked. And there's like, I don't know, 10 different options for like 4 grips. And this might just be for the beta. I don't know. It's a lot. Pretty cool though.
I don't feel too good. That's insane.
Yeah. I got some notes here on gameplay that we can both kind of jive off of. TTK, Time to Kill, I thought, in my opinion, for Modern Warfare 2, felt a bit too fast. Granted, it's a casual game, but like there are instances where like it feels like I get shot at once and I'm dead, and then you look at the kill cam or whatever, or the final kill cam, and like that person shot me 2 or 3 times and before I even noticed or whatever. So like there are some minor tweaks that need to happen with TTK, and I think most people on Twitter have said that it just feels a bit too fast. They can just adjust it slightly, and it'll be just right.
Yeah, I'm always for longer TTKs. Always.
That's true. Halo is too long in my opinion, but anyway. Respawns. I think Infinity Ward needs to take a look at respawns in this game. I don't know what the issue is, if it's the maps themselves or if there's people are spawning all over the place. I'm spawning in front of people. I'm seeing people spawn in front of me. It just does not feel like I have any kind of idea where the enemy is spawning or where I'm going to be spawning based on where we are on the map. That's a difficult thing to do. Modern Warfare 2019 took a while to like sort of get it right. I think just they had to make a bit longer maps. I don't know. They need to look at this. It's not very good right now, but it's nothing they can't fix later on.
Call up Respawn Entertainment to figure out what they need to do with the respawns. You get it? Respawn. Put them.
Good one.
Thank you.
Good one. Another thing people are complaining about is that the newest change that there's no red dots on the minimap. For previous Call of Duties, if you had an unsuppressed weapon and you shot, you would appear as a red dot on the minimap. For balancing, this has gone away. Apparently, like casual players, like I didn't know this was a thing, didn't like this. It was a lot harder, like the learning curve from going from a noob or whatever to like a more competitive player, I guess, so to speak. That was a big hurdle, was looking at your minimap and seeing where red dots are. And to avoid that, they didn't want people like glancing over at the minimap all the time. They want people actually in the game. They removed that altogether. But instead, obviously the balance here is that you could still have your UAVs. When you call that in, you can see red dots there. And they show up on the compass on the top of the screen. So there's like a little compass, gives you the direction of where you are, with the numbers. And you can see people shooting on the actual compass, not on the minimap, which I think is a fair trade-off. People are still kind of bummed about it just because we've been accustomed to looking at the minimap all this time. I still look at it. Whatever. I think this is okay. Moving it to the compass is totally fine if it leads to more casual players coming in, at least to a better playing experience. I'm all for it.
It kind of makes sense too. Like if you hear something from a certain direction, you turn that direction, you see where they're at. So that does make sense. I do think it's funny though, because Christian, you remember that one time I was looking at the mini map on the top left and I didn't say anything, but I was literally looking for where someone was shooting, shots. And I'm like, I don't see anything on the mini map. And then I died. And I think I was the last death or something. And you were like, what were you doing? I'm like, I was looking at the mini map.
Oh, this is when we were playing like Prison Rescue. Yeah. And like, damn, bro, you like watched him shoot at you. And you were looking at the mini map. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. But I was so confused. I'm like, where is the red dot at? I don't know. But now this makes sense.
It took some while to get used to, but I realized that, okay, this is actually legit. Like, in previous CODs, I was red dot chasing, and that's what they didn't want to do for this new one. Like in this new one, I am focused way more on sense of where my team are in relation to me and where I think the enemy is and where I'm hearing things from. So I'm chasing the action audibly and not just visually via the red dot, which I think is what the aim was. And if that's the case, then it's working for me.
True.
Anyway, I digress. Again, no slide canceling. There's a big asterisk here because people found out a way you could cheat the system, and there's 3 different ways to slide cancel. Call of Duty is Infinity Ward is looking at ways to get rid of that for weekend 2. Like they don't want slide canceling. They want the barrier for casual players to be as little as possible. Slide canceling was just a way to, it's a skill gap there to do that. Also, dolphin diving is back, and I am happy because dolphin diving is sick.
Can I just say, this is literally the type of feature or bug, whatever you want to call it, that Halo fans would be pissed about if 343 took this out. They'd be like, this is to make the skill gap better, and like this is so much better. Why are you guys taking this out and fixing it? I just think it's funny that people are clamoring for this to
for slide canceling.
Yeah, not coming. Yeah.
No, people are mad that they're taking it out. People want slide canceling.
Oh,
competitive players want slide canceling.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the majority is that people are fine without it, and I'm in the case where I'm fine without it too.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna skip this just because we're running longer on this. So far in the maps we've seen, I'll just mention it. Map design, pretty good so far. It's not my favorite. I've seen 4 maps. They took one out of rotation because there was an exploit. They put another one in. The toughest thing about it is how many lanes there are vertically. Like there's usually, for the most part, like 2 floors for every level, and so you got to worry about like where things are at. It can be a lot at first, but once you really start to understand a map, you can start to see where like the 3-lane kind of aesthetic or design comes in. Just takes a little while to learn them. Also, FOV, the slider on console, I think is super clutch. Just wanted to mention that. That's awesome. What else? Lobbies disbanding after a game ends. This was a thing in Modern Warfare 2019. I think it's probably still an issue now. It was happening during the beta. I would like it if lobbies stayed. That's part of the fun of older Call of Duties, is when you would lose or win and you stay in the lobby and everyone stays and like it's, rematch time.
That's actually interesting because that's one thing that Halo lost as well over time, because they used to have the exact same thing. And I agree with you. I think it makes it more interesting, like if people want to rejoin back up.
Call of Duty is also a game where a lot of people are using game chat, in Warzone and in multiplayer. Like, people aren't in parties. People are, but like, it feels like the old days of Call of Duty where people are actually talking to each other. So lobbies disbanding is kind of has a negative effect on that. But anyway,
they're talking through their controller, Christian.
Which Dan did, by the way. He didn't realize that the PlayStation 5 did that automatically. I wish there was a way to turn that off.
Yeah.
Closing out, we got some updates here before Beta 2 or Weekend 2 launches for the beta. Target tracking, this is a huge one. Infinity Ward is reducing muzzle smoke opacity and increasing visibility of muzzle flash to help engage opponents in firefights. One of the big things is like when you start getting into a firefight against someone in Modern Warfare 2, it is so hard to track your enemy because like there's a lot of shit on screen. Like it is a lot. It's loud. The gun is kicking a lot. Like it looks visually impressive, but it is hard. Also, what I'm really happy about is that they're investigating more ways to visually differentiate between enemies and friendlies outside of nameplates, because it is a little hard to notice, to differentiate between your teammates and the enemy. And the two last things is that footstep audio range is being reduced. Enemy and friendly footsteps are now going to be distinct. I don't know how that's going to work, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, one person has like high heels on and the other one has tennis shoes on. I don't know.
I mean, it would work. It would work.
Yeah.
And then improvements are being made to the UX by launch. Won't happen by Weekend 2, but they're wanting to improve the way, just like creating a class, just making it easier, less button presses, more kind of streamlined as you maneuver through the menus. My overall thoughts on Modern Warfare 2, it's gas, dude. It's fun. It can be still kind of sweaty. Skill-based matchmaking, they say it's not a thing. It's definitely a thing in Call of Duty. Yeah, and I don't know. Jumping back in again, it just feels good to play. I think the kind of aim to create a game aimed more for casual players is honestly the right move. You can still have competitive plays. You can have those playlists, but like lowering the barrier to entry on like getting someone's hands on the controller and just like having fun and going. I think is always going to be a good thing for long term. This is going to be a 2-year game, and I'm excited. It's a cool game so far, and I did spend $100 on it. I bought the Vault Edition.
Damn.
And that's been Call of Duty's bread and butter for so long, is like, positioning this game to as many people as possible, and that's why the game sells so well every year and just hits 20 million plus, every single year. So
Yeah. Okay. That is everything on Call of Duty. Ro, I'm so sorry that you had to sit through that.
It's okay. Sorry. I don't.
Would you consider trying it out with us for Weekend 2?
Yes, absolutely. I would. I watched a video on this guy killing people super, super fast. And I was like, yeah, I like to die to that.
Oh, you're talking about the guy with his like elite movement and Call of Duty?
Yes. So I was
Yeah,
even keeping
that's-
track of this. It's like,
No, that stuff is always annoying to me.
good lord. But honestly, yes, I would like to give it a shot.
The beta is about 20 to 30 gigs, less than 30. So
Cool.
you got the space for it. Open beta
I
this
do.
weekend. Hop in with us.
Heck yeah.
This is moving on to our fantasy draft check-in. This was inserted by Ro. The Diofield Chronicle is coming 9/22. I think Ro, you picked it up.
I did pick this up. It was at an 80, but then that dang Tamar Hussein over at GameStop gave it a 5 out of 10.
Oh,
And now it's
Yes,
at a
yeah.
78, I think.
that's still not bad.
It's okay, but
Wait, is it at 78?
Or is it lower now?
I think it's at 74 now.
God damn it.
Oh no.
God damn it. Yeah. I was looking at, when I picked this up, I was looking at previews of the game, and people who are interested in this type of game were like, oh, this looks awesome. This looks awesome. And previewers were like, oh, this is going to be really good. It's like, you know what? Okay. Square Enix Tactics game. Yeah. I'll pick that up. Dang it. I was wrong. It's getting 9 out of 10s from some people, some good reviews, 7 out of 10s from other places, but overall it's pretty mixed. So I'm looking at a low 70 right now, it looks like. Bummer.
I'm looking at the scores for our teams. Obviously, Dan is still in first place. He's at 136. Ro, you're at 89, closing the gap. I'm at 103.
Ooh.
I don't think I'm going to catch... Neither of us are going to catch up to Dan.
Probably
but,
not.
like... I feel like I could get close. Obviously, he's got God of War. It's going to be huge when that game comes out. There's no way. That's going to be like in the 90s. I'm not going to catch up. My only chance is that Silk Song just stealth drops by the end of the year. It's just out. Here you go. And it gets great scores.
That's true.
I hate... Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I think, Christian, you have a really great shot to win, and Ro, you as well, because you guys still have a lot of games left. There's still...
I hate that my ace in the sleeve is Sonic Frontier, but I also don't. I actually love it.
Dude, you're gonna gain a shitload on me if that does really well.
If it does well, it's not a shoe-in like Ragnarok. So, but yeah.
Yeah. And then Gage added something as well. Shovel Knight Dig, which is coming this Friday, 9/23. I don't think there's any. Is there review scores for this game yet?
I can't even find because I put those in last week. Those dates. I can't even find anywhere that like this game is even listed on OpenCritic or anything. So I'm not even sure. It definitely is coming out on the 23rd because that's on Yacht Club's website, but I guess they don't have reviews yet.
Could you imagine if Gage doesn't get points for this either?
Goodness.
Rip.
This is pretty fun. I enjoy this fantasy critic.
Me too.
Yes.
We'll see how it goes by the end of the year. Yeah, it's gonna be really exciting. Before we get into what you got for me, come back next week. We're gonna be going over the our predictions for kind of what we expected to come out of summer via the various showcases. We're gonna be putting that into news of the week. Won't be a topic of the show, but we'll have some fun. See who got the most points, who won, who's the king of gaming for summer 2022.
Heck yeah.
Dan, what you got for me?
All I have is the Modern Warfare 2 beta, which we already covered in extensive length, so I don't really think I need to add anything there. I've obviously been having a lot of fun with that, or I had a lot of fun with that with you. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
And we didn't get to play very long. I feel like maybe it was like max 45 minutes. So we'll get some more game time in this weekend. All right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Ro.
Yes. Still chipping away at Bayonetta, the first one. I don't know why I wrote 3 in the doc. I guess I'm
early copy.
I'm excited, I guess. Yeah, I've been playing the first Bayonetta still. Yeah, chipping away at that, hoping to finish it soon. Splatoon 3, I beat the campaign of that. Fun times. I still have some levels to beat, just to like clear out all the levels. But yeah, it was a nice challenge. Fun stuff. Apparently there's a secret level if you beat all the main story mission levels. So I'm trying to do that. And the multiplayer is still super fun, just as fun as it was in the other games. The new weapons are fun to play with and all that. But I watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners on Netflix by Studio Trigger, and it was awesome. It freaking rocked. Yeah. And it got me in the mood to finally get back to playing Cyberpunk 2077 because it was on sale on the PlayStation Store. I was like, okay, I could buy it for this price. And yeah, I'm still pretty early on. I picked Street Kid. I'm going that route, but I'm pretty much as far as I was when I started it the first time, so I haven't seen anything new yet. But I'm hoping to stick with it and see what's changed. It's completely... It's so nice to see it the way that it's meant to be seen, because when I played the first time, it did not look like this. So it's nice to see it how they intended it for us the players to see it. So yeah, I'm hoping to see it through because I think it's a good game. It just had a unfortunate start, so hopefully I can see what they wanted us to see when they first released it.
I also started playing Cyberpunk again.
Wow.
I played. I haven't watched Edge Runners yet. I'm really excited for that, but
Yeah,
I haven't
really good.
watched it yet. I downloaded the PS5 version, 90 gigabytes. So let me get back into Night City, see what's up. Played about 2.5 hours, and I was like, yeah, this is still not it. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Like Night City, like the aesthetics of it,
Yeah.
still fantastic, but there's still so many small things that are just like, what is going on here? Like the AI to me is I got a notification on my computer. One of my friends just started playing Cyberpunk as well. I do not enjoy the AI like at all. Just weird things like going into photo mode and things disappearing on the screen kind of took me out a little bit. Like that's just a nitpick, but like playing the game, something about that dialogue either bores me or I just don't think it's very strong. I'm about 20 hours in. It's just like, I don't know if I can keep going for the length of a full RPG. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know how long you are in row. Like,
No, I'm
altogether.
super early stuff. I must have met Jackie like 2 missions ago. Like
Okay.
super early stuff. Yeah.
Still very early. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're 20 hours in, probably not probably not gonna like it if you don't like it yet.
Yeah, and then I still have issues with like the on-screen text is still like extremely small. Like they need to find a way to like fix that. Anything on the screen is like small. I try to look at my inventory. I'm like, I have to stand up just to read what it is I'm even looking at. Like you get dialogue options, and it's like, what the fuck does that say?
What does that say?
Yeah, I was. Sorry, go ahead.
Where's the accessibility options? Like, come on. Now.
So they're there, and I made them the largest, and they're still very small.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say like the moment to moment shooting and stealth stuff. So far, it's not like what I love about it, but I think the thing that you don't like is what I do like is like just sitting down and talking to the characters and choosing the dialogue option. Not that you don't like that, but you don't like the actual dialogue that's written is not
In
super
this game.
strong.
Yeah,
It's not super strong. And that I can't completely disagree with, but I just like. I guess I'm kind of off the high of the show as well, whereas like they mentioned a character that was in the anime, and I was like, oh my god, that character from the anime. When it's the other way around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just enjoying like being in the world right now. But playing it, yeah, sometimes I'm like, okay, kind of. I don't know how I feel about.
Isn't that weird?
Shooting
like,
and stuff, yeah.
Night City is incredible. Like the world that they built is so cool, and like. That's what makes this so hard is that I want to be more into Cyberpunk. And then I play it, I'm just like, I don't like the shooting in this game. I don't like any kind of the action. And then the story is just like, the writing is like whatever to me. So it's like, do I keep going? So what did I do? I jumped into Yakuza 0.
Yeah.
And that game, listen, this game holds up so well. Combat isn't perfect, so like grain of salt. It's still kind of clunky and stiff compared to today's standards, but like, it's awesome. The writing in that game is like S tier. Like it feels like I'm watching a movie at some points. Like it's so good. I'm still very early on. I'm like 2 to 3 hours in, but like it's awesome. Like this is a great freaking RPG. Like what whiplash I was having going from Cyberpunk to Yakuza from like a decade old game, if not further. I'm like, damn, this holds up to this day. Yakuza 0. Fantastic. I already did karaoke and it was like, it blew my mind. Yeah. Oh my God.
Karaoke is so cool. Yeah, I need to get back to Yakuza 0. My God. I think I'm probably as far as you might be. I need to get back to that. But yeah, I love my time with it as well.
Hold on. I'll pretend to be Gage real quick.
Oh.
I don't know. I didn't have an impression ready. I just turned off my light.
Well, just do the impression of me like you always do. Yeah.
Wait.
Anyway. There it is.
Nailed it.
There it is.
Let's move on. The topic of the show. This is a big one. Grand Theft Auto 6 actually leaked. I'm reading from the IGN story by Matt Kim. Got hella details for you. Late Sunday night on September 18th, 2022. Teapot Tuber hacker posted a zip file to GTA forums saying, quote, "Here are 90 footage/clips from GTA 6. It's possible I could leak more data soon. GTA 5 and 6 source code and assets. GTA 6 testing build," unquote. First of all, let's just stop there. 90 plus, including source code to 6 and GTA 5? Unprecedented, dude. Like, this is a felony, dog.
Yeah, that's a
lot.
that's a lot of
It's a lot.
stuff. That's a lot of stuff. Oh my God.
So
yeah,
yeah.
keep going. Sorry.
Twitter was insane that night. I have the luxury of being on the West Coast, so I was watching all this happen in real time. Videos were dropping, including robberies, gunplay, VO conversations, driving, AI testing, and much, much more. And the videos did confirm there are male and the female protagonists. Again, worth noting that this is still an early build, so you're seeing a lot of code on screen. Things aren't finalized. Graphics, obviously aren't up to snuff, but I will say it looks really good for being an alpha/pre-alpha build. The leaker claims that they were downloaded directly from Rockstar's internal Slack groups. I don't know how he got into those groups, but crazy. Also claims that they are the same person who hacked Uber earlier this month, to which then the next day Rockstar confirmed the hack. They posted this, and this is worth reading. "We recently suffered a network intrusion in which an unauthorized third party illegally accessed and downloaded confidential information from our systems, including early development footage for the next Grand Theft Auto. At this time, we do not anticipate any disruption to our live game services, nor any long-term effect on the development of our ongoing projects. We are extremely disappointed to have any details of our next game shared with you all in this way. Our work on the next Grand Theft Auto game will continue as planned, and we remain as committed as ever to delivering an experience to you, our players, that truly exceeds your expectations. We will update everyone again soon, and of course, we'll properly introduce you to this next game when it is ready. We want to thank everyone for their ongoing support through this situation." And then last piece I have here is that the FBI is getting involved, and this is all due to Uber getting hacked. I think Uber started this working with the FBI on this, so not looking good for Teapot Tuber hacker, I gotta say.
You know how when the police go after you in GTA, well, now this guy's having the police go after him.
Yeah, he's got 5 stars, yeah. 6 maybe even. Sending the tanks after him.
True. I mean,
before we even get into things to consider, top level, did anyone watch any of these videos? I know I did.
I saw some screenshots. I didn't see the videos actually.
I watched a handful, and then I was like, all right, I don't want to see any more from this game because I want to actually enjoy it when it comes out. So
I agree. Yeah. I watched like 4.
Yeah.
And then even still, I skimmed most of those.
Yeah.
One of the things that Rockstar's and people were discussing is how fans will perceive the final product and how they're perceiving the product now in its current state. I wrote in the doc, "Gamers are stupid," because there are a lot of people on Twitter that were vocal being how terrible this game looks, and that it looks it looks just like GTA 5, or that it looks unfinished. Newsflash, buddy, it is unfinished. It's a leak of an ongoing project. That's why it looks like this. There's code on screen, dude. Like, relax. First impressions can be huge, man, and like to have a leak this sizable be the first impression, and for a lot of people who don't know how game development works, have that be the first impression can, I don't know. It's disheartening, to say the least.
The people putting out misinformation, like the random dumb gamers that you're referring to, Christian, who are tweeting out, "Man, video game graphics, that's the first thing that they do in video game development." It's like, that's not how that works. And then a bunch of developers started tweeting out like, "Hey, you love this game," like Remedy tweeted out about Control. "You love Control, and this was a groundbreaking game for graphics. This is what it looked like, a year or two, whenever it was before development or before the game came out. And it's obviously very blocky textures. That's literally what game development is, graphics graphics are the final pass.
Yeah, and like there's like a whole discussion to be had about like just game development, like I don't know, openness, just in general. Like studios have varying degrees of openness. Like Motive for Dead Space has been like very open with their process, and that's been refreshing to see. I love to see that. But I like dev talks too. Like I always go reference Naughty Dog when they gave a talk after The Last of Us came out, and they said, yeah, this game was not good until like a month before we went gold. It was not. We could not find the fun in this game, and we were like super concerned about like how the game actually felt to play, and they didn't crack that until a month before. You imagine that? That kind of stuff is crazy to me. I don't doubt GTA is gonna be fun. I mean, just judging out the videos, like it's more GTA that sells itself. Oh, bro, please.
No, yeah, I completely agree. Like like you were saying, they work on these things to the like almost to the day before that the game comes out. Like they like maybe a week before the game comes out, then the game goes gold, and that's when they're still working on it even after that. Sometimes, like with a day one patch or whatever other updates they want to work on. So the fact that this game is so far away still, and we're just getting a little peek behind the curtain. Well, not a little. It's 90 videos. We got a pretty big peek, but it's still very early stuff. For people to say that this looks terrible is just like they don't understand how games work. And as you were saying, that could be a myriad of different things. Just them not wanting to educate themselves, but also that gaming development is so secretive. And I don't understand why. I guess it's because of money, and the higher ups don't want people knowing how the game looks early on. I really don't know. Maybe one of you guys can tell me the real reason behind it, but I don't understand why it's so secretive as opposed to TV. And I mean, to an extent, they are secretive industries too, but I feel like other industries are just so much more open about the development of their franchises as opposed to video games for some reason. And not to say that this leak is a consequence of that. But it is interesting to think, like, if GTA would share stuff like this openly, would we have leaks like this at all? But yeah.
Rockstar communicate.
I think personally, like, Ro, one of the biggest issues in terms of like GTA is GTA has like the biggest casual fan base of any franchise out there. And like the more casual of a fan you are, the dumber you are in terms of game development. Like, I feel like, so those types of fans like look at this and they're like, oh my gosh, this looks terrible, I'm not going to want to get this. And then it just creates a negative stigma behind the game that I guess the developers probably would want to avoid. So I don't know. Like,
that's a good point, because you can just imagine like somebody who like maybe has a console and they play every now and then. They have like maybe one of the sports games. They have Call of Duty. They have Grand Theft Auto 5. They don't play very often, but they touch games every now and then. Probably like saw like one of these videos maybe on TikTok or somebody talking about it. I was like, this is what the next Grand Theft Auto looks like. This kind of looks like shit.
Yeah.
Like even the Modern Warfare 2 beta, tons of people on TikTok comments talking about how it looks like a mobile game. It's like, well, come on, dude. Like, I wouldn't say the game looks that bad. I don't think it looks pretty bad at all. But anyway,
no.
Some other things to consider is how it will affect the devs and work from home flexibility. This is one that Jason Schreier brought up that like probably a big one. Like protocol is probably going to change a lot. Like they got into Slack. Like what is that work going to look like in the future for them? They're going to have to go into the office more. Like who knows? If they go into the office more, does that put them at risk of potentially catching COVID? Does the rise of COVID then put a delay on the game? All these sorts of factors will change the way development looks from here on out. So it's going to be, not that we'll get details on it, but it'll be interesting to see how that timeline would perceivably shift.
And how did they get into the system? Like, what
Slack.
the heck? Yeah.
I don't know. Some kind of hacking.
Although, as someone who works in IT, I can attest that there's a lot of dumb users out there that click on things and do things they shouldn't be doing. So I guess that kind of explains itself there.
Someone didn't have two-factor authentication on.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to really touch on is that development of GTA 6. In my opinion, I think this will cause a delay. I know Rockstar's messaging said that they won't. I want to go bring it up. There's no long-term delays to the game or their ongoing kind of development, but I don't know if I 100% believe that, because there's source code in these leaks, and like that's going to affect current Grand Theft Auto as well as the next one that's running off of previous iterations of that code. I think they have to, like, they won't say there's a delay, like they're going to show off the game when it's ready to go, but no doubt like the timeline has shifted a few months just to go back and look to see like what was actually leaked, what do they have to make sure like is locked down. It's probably not going to be a major delay, but like maybe a few months. The difference between like maybe like a summer release to like a fall or winter release, kind of, 6 months maybe.
Yeah. I hope not. I hope this game comes sooner rather than later. And like this may be you may be right. Like this may affect GTA 5 more than we think, because if source code of GTA 5 is out there, that's going to cause more people to create exploits for GTA 5 because they know kind of the vulnerabilities of the system. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
It's sad to think that this game that we've been waiting so long for might get another push, but hopefully it's not as big as a delay, and like what you're saying, it's just a couple of weeks or a month out.
Yeah, just ignore the leaks and just be like, a game that never had a date cannot technically be pushed back. True. If we don't know about it.
True.
If we don't know about it.
That's a good point.
Obviously, a lot of people have been claiming that this is the biggest leak in video game history. Engage made a good point in our private chat that puts in perspective. I would argue it's one of the biggest. Like this is undoubtedly huge. There's a big asterisk for me because I don't know what the long-term effects of that source code are. Like GTA 6 on its own is huge, but like it's the code for me that really like is the cherry on top. Gage mentioned the NVIDIA leaks as the biggest, and I think he's onto something there.
I think in terms of like details, maybe this might be one of the biggest leaks of all time. Like, because I mean, you just got a lot of videos of the game, a lot of source code, a lot of like, there's a ton of stuff like for this game. But yeah, there's more, titles for NVIDIA.
Yeah. This is just one video game.
Yes.
The NVIDIA leaked a bunch of them. But yeah, in terms of like exactly what Dan said, in terms of quality, like this is so much that has been released too early for the devs liking, obviously. But there's other games like Half-Life 2 is one that I saw a lot of people talk about that leak and made the game delay over a year pushback. And of course, The Last of Us 2 is another one that people talk about.
It's a huge one, dude.
Yeah, would that just like completely change the conversation of that game leading up to release, where people breaking their discs and crazy stuff with that leak as well. But yeah, this is definitely up there for sure, no doubt.
The thing about The Last of Us 2 leak is that there was a lot of like false information too included in that leak, but also a lot of it was right. And like as a developer who's like, making this for years and it's finally about to launch, and a month before like everything leaks, like that's got to be super disheartening. I wonder what it's like for Rockstar right now, being like, man, like maybe they're ready to show this off like in the next few months. I mean, I doubt that, but like by that I mean like next summer maybe even, like some kind of like not a slice, but like some kind of trailer. And like I don't know if it would even be the case anymore. So
I think that sounds like what they were probably shooting for is next summer, and then now maybe we may not see it till next fall.
If we're lucky.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I just wanted to ask why this kind of goes back to the whole secretive thing. Like, but why do you think that is? Like, we see this game, we know it's early. Next summer, it's not going to look like this. So why not show it off? Show us what you do have so far. Like, what's the reason for holding back even more?
I would say maybe like hype is one thing. That's just like for the audience. But I think the other is like shareholders. Like when it's unveiled, like you do see like those numbers go up.
Right.
And that's, in relation to like the timing of when it's released or when it's shown off. That's got to be one factor. The other is probably just like depending on the project. Like if it's a project of this scale and caliber, like you want to build that anticipation as long as possible and show it off like when it's ready to go, because like that builds like a lot of excitement, that boosts numbers again in stock. Whereas like, you know, a Dead Space remake, yeah, we're excited about it, but like we've already know what Dead Space, we know what that game looks like already. So like here's a journey of us building that game together. I guess the answer, I guess like there's a middle ground here, which is like dev diaries. If you're not going to do it beforehand, show it off after. There are 3 cases that I can think of: The Last of Us, God of War, and Hellblade. Actually, Hellblade was before. They did dev diaries beforehand, so I apologize there. But God of War and 2018, God of War and Last of Us had documentaries come out after the game that you could watch, and you could document like how that game is shaping out beforehand. And like that was extremely insightful. I would love it if more games had special features like that, where you got to see like a look at videos of what it was like to even make that game. Also, The Last of Us Part 1 has what is it called? A commentary track where you can play the game with developer commentary.
So
There's
cool.
parts in the map where you can just go and listen. That stuff is cool, man.
I feel like, back to your question, Ro, I feel like they also want to kind of distance themselves further from these leaks. Like, you know, obviously the sooner they show official information, the closer it is to these leaks, and people are maybe meld them together and like think of them together, even though they're not together. They're 2 separate things. So that's why I'm also feeling like that's maybe why they want to push it further out. I don't know.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Bring back dev diaries.
Dev diaries are cool, man. They're cool.
Yes.
All that in mind, I'm still excited for GTA 6 whenever that unveilment happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, I got a lot of texts, people talking about this big booty Latina character from GTA. Anyway,
I don't know.
you guys excited for GTA?
Yes.
I'm excited.
Okay.
Big booty. Big booty delicious.
Dan loves big booty Latinas, don't you? I'm gonna clip this out.
Sure.
Say it.
Yeah, Dan loves big booty Latinas.
Jesus.
There you go.
I'm so sorry.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Oh, we have fun.
Yeah.
Folks, thank you again to everyone joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Roshan. Thank you, me, Gage. Make that money. Thank you, Daniel. And this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out.
Much love and keep on gaming.
See ya.
Big booty.